This podcast could potentially have adult language, adult themes, definitely drinking, and possibly the possibility of sexual content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Drinking with Authors, the Literary Briefs edition. I am your host, Erica Lance. My co-host today is Valerie Willis.
Which I must behave. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment. And our guest today for rapid fire questions is Lynn Chantale.
Hi.
Why are you doing that expression of feeling like I'm going to be written up? Like
you are going to be written up. I like how you were like, and our guest today is Lynn Chantale. Like it was there's no oomph to it. Where was your oomph?
I'm trying to oomph. I just finished unpacking my house. All my oomph is gone.
Oh.
But I have
I'm blah, blah, blah. I want to host a podcast, blah, blah, blah. So, Lynn, welcome. Let's talk about what we're drinking. I'm almost done, which may or may not be a good thing. So I got Wendy's for lunch, and I got the lemonade they have, because they actually have pretty good lemonade. Whatever judgments. But Skunk Brothers makes Lightning, which is a moonshine, which they tell you to mix with the lemonade, which I did. And I've been having a very good time with it. Please and thank you. Mm-hmm. So, Val, what are you drinking?
An Italian sparkling drink, because I'm fancy pants today. And it is the blood orange, because that's as close as I can get to a paranormal spin on that.
I would like you to never paranormally spin that again.
No, I try.
Lynn, what are you drinking, my friend?
I'm drinking a wine cooler by, I think it's Seagram's and Pina Colada, and I'm almost done with it.
Yeah, cheers to that, my friend. Okay, let's get this rapid fire party started.
All right.
Let us start with, what is your favorite book of all time?
Green Eggs and Ham.
Wow, that is a new one. Why is Green Eggs and Ham your favorite book of all time?
It's just something I used to read with my kids, and it stayed my favorite.
I love it. You know what one of my favorite books was as a kid's book? It's not my favorite book of all time, but it's called But Not the Hippopotamus.
Oh.
And I love that book. And I used to read it to my kids. So when my grandbaby was born, that's one of the first things I sent my daughter was But Not the Hippopotamus.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your least favorite book of all time?
Beowulf.
Ooh, it's a good thing J.M. Paquette's not on this call, because she'd lose her shit over you saying that. Why do you not like Beowulf?
We had to read it in school and dissect it, and it just took all the fun out of it for me. So yeah, no, I'll pass.
No, I can understand that. Okay, what about a book to like a movie or a TV series or something like that? Is there anyone you thought they did incredibly well?
It's actually a couple of them. The Hunger Games.
I buy to that. Potter, that's my favorite.
Holes. Yeah. I thought they did pretty good with those.
What about one you think they did an absolutely terrible job with?
Ready Player One.
Really? That actually came up on a podcast recently. And one was on they did a terrible job side, and the other was one of my favorite remake sides. Why did you not like it?
It was, up to a point, I'm like going, I get the whole, you got to change things to make it fit, but the things that they changed to make fit, it was like, that was nowhere in the book. So, I don't get that part. I just didn't get that part.
The only thing, because you brought up Hunger Games, so this is the only thing I will say, is, first of all, I love the audiobook of that because it's Will Wheaton, and he could sit and read my grocery list to me weekly, and I'd be very happy, speaking of wonderful voices. But the other thing is that Katniss isn't a likable character to me. Like, Katniss is, you know, she just gets broken fairly quickly and fairly early. And, you know, you have all these other people that make her into a hero type character because they're, and I like that. I actually like that about the book. I feel the same about our lovely friend in Ready Player One. He is not a likable character, the lead.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, he is not. And so the one thing they did with the movie was make him a little more relatable for the general audience. Did you read Ready Player Two yet?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed
he
it.
is even more unlikable as that book series goes on. Like, which I get it, but unfortunately he doesn't have the, you know, people around him making her person, you know, craziness. Okay, what about what is one of your favorite, because we discussed previously, you write erotic, suspenseful, but what are some of your favorite tropes?
Oh gosh.
Because you were saying second chances.
Second chances.
Yep.
Marriage of convenience. Enemies to friends, friends to enemies, friends to lovers, something like that. But definitely right up there is and Secret Baby.
Ooh, Secret Baby.
Yeah.
That's a
what are some tropes that you're like, nah?
Like hard pass.
I don't think I really have any. You know, that's a hard pass.
Oh, that makes sense. What about what is something as an erotic writer that you go, what the hell were you thinking when you're reading somebody else's erotic work? For Val, we've all discovered it has to do with squirrels and bushes, but
squirrels and bushes out of this.
Oh goodness.
I'm literally putting sprung forth like a squirrel from the bushes in my next book. That's going in the next book for you, Val.
Chasing nuts, man.
I think it was this one scene, and they'd been in the dirt, and you knew they were muddy and super dirty and everything, and then all of a sudden there comes this love scene, and I'm like, wait a minute, aren't they covered in dirt and mud and grass, and they're still making love? Like, no.
I would have been like, we need to find a stream right now.
Right. No, there was no stream. There were no handy wipes or wet naps. Just, yeah. And I'm like, okay.
I get that, because to me, it's also like when people describe sex on the beach and not the beverage. And for anyone who's had sex on a beach, unless you have a chair or a hammock or you're standing up, if you're laying in the sand, nah, after a short period of time. Like,
I don't like swimming in the ocean because it manages to get in your bathing suit without fail, no matter.
Yeah, it's true. I just think some of this stuff, but I think it's funny because they're like, oh, they're all dirty and there's passion, but there's those of us that are like, ew. No, wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no.
Okay, what about if you could be any like mythical or fantastical creature, what would you be and why?
Ooh. What would I want to be? Oh, a Pegasus.
Ooh, why?
Just to be able to soar and fly and be majestic.
I love that. I love flying. What about if you could meet any author, who would you want to meet?
Dead or alive, or
dead or alive. They could be dead or alive. They will be in a living form even if they were previously dead. So we're not, because that could get all kinds of creepy, you know.
Zombie apocalypse level.
That's so many, because it's like I want to meet Jonathan McBarry and oh man, Victoria Holt. That would be a good one to meet her.
Have you ever met an author that you are a huge fan of?
Yes, I have.
How did that go?
Oh my gosh, I tried not to go fangirl, but my voice.
You should always go full fangirl. I go full fangirl.
But my voice went up like 3 octaves, and that was just yeah, it was great. I loved it. It was great.
That is amazing and awesome. Val, do you have any questions? You're like not asking questions.
I know. What is since we write romance and erotica, who is your favorite romance erotica writer?
Oh, she's not gonna, I wouldn't answer that. What the hell are you thinking?
There's too many.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
There's too many.
She is in a writing community, Val. We do not ask these questions and then get listening to her podcast going, what do you mean I'm not your favorite?
I'm sorry. I redact that.
Okay.
When you go to sit down and write, do you have a writing ritual? Like we mentioned playing music. Do you have to have music every time? Do you have to be wearing a certain pair of pajamas, have a cup of coffee? Like, what is your ritual of sitting down and getting ready to write?
Oh, sitting down. No, I don't always have to have music. I do have to have at least a bottle of water and a snack next to me. That could be anything from chocolate covered raisins or chocolate covered almonds. Those are my 2 big go-tos.
There's a theme there that involves chocolate.
Yes, I love chocolate, especially dark chocolate. But yeah, those couple of things. And then when I get really going, I will have the TV, music, and a book going. So,
oh my gosh.
So many sensory overload.
No, it reminds me of when my boys were younger and they would play video games in the living room while I'm writing at the dining room table. So it's the same thing, just kind of that, okay, I need that noise today so I can concentrate.
I think that's really interesting because of course pre-pandemic happening, I loved writing, and so does Val, like in coffee shops and where I put headphones in and I listen to music without words, because unfortunately if I hear words, especially a lot of times I'll get wrapped up and start singing the song and then I'm not writing because I'm singing a song. But I loved being around, having just motion happening around me while I was writing. Like I could get a lot done with that and it wasn't a distraction. And then I know some authors that are like, nothing should move. Turn the air conditioner off. It might blow a paper. Nothing should move.
Right. Yeah.
Is there anywhere that, did you used to, because you've been doing this for some time now, did you use pre-pandemic and stuff? Did you ever write in like a coffee shop or a bar or things like that?
Yes, I did longhand for a long time. So I would always have a notebook and pen with me, and wherever the inspiration struck, I would write. Even if it was just a scene, I would jot it down and then type it into my computer once I got home.
Very cool. Do you have do your characters talk to you?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And is there ever been a character that you had a hard time writing?
Only because they wouldn't talk. And then I was like, oh, I need to use that. That's why they're not talking, because they're one of those quiet, sit back and take note of everything. And once I figured that out, no problems.
Very cool. Do your characters take you on wild journeys that you were not like prepared for? You're like, no, this is where the story's going. And they're like, no, this is where the story is going.
Yes, they've done that to me. And And then if I go in the direction that I want to go, they won't talk. They'll just like, that's not what I said. And I'm like, but this is where I want to go. And they're like, well, that's not where I want to go. And so unfortunately, I do have to give in to them.
Yeah. Well, no, I think a lot of writers have that where they're, if you go in the other direction and then they're like, no, you can go by yourself. I'm going to stay over here. You let me know when you get back.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult to write. It just, it's like they just stop. They just shut up and they're like, okay, well, you'll figure it out eventually. I'm like, who's the writer here?
We're just vehicles for them to write their own story. That's all.
Apparently. So.
Do you have favorites? Do you have some of your characters that have been your favorites?
Oh, yes. Some of them have been villains. In Broken Lens, what was her name? Serafina. Yeah, actually, she was one of my favorite villains. In let's see, who else was there? Geneva and Jethro from that series. Actually, August from Blind Fury, she was one of my favorites. And then I've got a whole host of other characters from my True Detective series. I really do enjoy the protagonists in that one, Carson, Matt, and Natalie. They're just kind of close to my heart because they were one of the first books that I was able to write after a fairly traumatic event. So I was like, yay, I can write again.
Well, that's very cool. What about fans reaching out to you about characters? Are you surprised sometimes at the characters they reach out to you about?
No, I actually don't get a lot of fans who reach out to me.
Well, fans listening, reach out. She'd love to talk to you.
Yes,
tell her about some obscure character in the book that you're like, I love Bob. And, you have to go Google find who the hell Bob was. In the book. What about the first time you signed a book? What was that like for you?
Oh my gosh. I think I cried. It was
Oh,
I was like, I'm a real author. Just that was a really good moment. That was a really good moment.
I'm sure that's similar to the first time you actually held one of your physical books in your hands.
Yes, it's like, wow, I couldn't stop smiling. It was just really great. It's like, oh, they want my autograph.
No, I think that's amazing. And I always think that's amazing. Val?
Let's see. What is your favorite weird food combination that you eat?
Boiled eggs with barbecue sauce.
That is an interesting one. Is it like a particular barbecue sauce that it's got to be? Like, is it sweet or spicy or vinegary?
No, it's Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue sauce. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Trying to decide how I feel about that. Like,
I know. I'm like, do I have some Sweet Baby Ray's? Because now I'm curious.
Yeah, it took me a while, to figure out the type of barbecue sauce that I really liked, and Sweet Baby Ray's is
like ketchup with scrambled eggs, and ketchup's not that far-fetched from barbecue. This is where the bad.
Yeah, but with boiled eggs, do you you're talking like hard-boiled eggs, right?
Yes.
This is what I'm talking about. It's different than if you're making scrambled eggs, Val.
Right. And I love deviled eggs.
Oh yeah, you can spritz a little on your deviled egg too. I've done it on an egg salad sandwich.
Oh, egg salad sandwich with it on there.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what Val's going to go figure out how to eat tonight. She's going to go, I tried what Lynn said, and now I'm eating it all the time. And so where's some place you'd love to travel to and haven't been to yet?
Oh gosh. I want to go to Egypt, and I haven't been there yet. Want to check out
Like
the pyramids, the Sphinx. Maybe even sneak a handful of sand home.
Don't mention that to anybody when you do that, because they'll stop you. I've discovered this many times with different things. I'm not going to mention the fact that I got from Iceland some of the volcanic rocks, but I'm also not going to explain how I managed to do that through customs. So
don't worry. I won't mention that I actually brought home rocks from the Bahamas. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, you got to be clever about that shit, because they're not on board with you bringing home what they consider wildlife.
To bring, yeah, I was gonna say, I remember I brought back some conch shells from the Bahamas, but I guess that's not too well. I mean, we took our own boat then, so no one was checking anything.
Yeah, no, that doesn't count, Val. You didn't go through customs. You drove there yourself.
I drove there on on the tiny little boat, little 21-footer, the whole family. 97. The fleet angler hadn't burnt down yet. Where Hemingway beat the guy to death.
Oh wow!
There. Like, there's a whole thing. Oh no, that place was partying hard on Friday night because I was on the second floor and bouncing on my bed.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Childhood memories. And then my mom didn't know who Hemingway was, and I was very devastated. I remember that. Like, oh.
Well, I'm glad we got to go down memory lane with Val on these things. I'm not quite sure how I feel about any of that. What about a place that you've been that you're like, I never want to go there again?
That's a good question. Where did that one come from? Is that the moonshine talking?
You want me to start doing more math? I've got this down. What's up?
No. Where's some place I've been that I don't want to go to again? Arkansas?
Oh, I've been, yeah.
Yeah.
What happens in Arkansas?
Nothing happens in Arkansas.
Oh.
Branson's in Arkansas, right? No, that's Missouri.
And when I would live there briefly for a time, the most exciting thing was watching they called them billy trucks, drive from one paper mill on one end of the highway and then the paper mill to the other end of the highway. So that's all you saw were semi trucks loaded with trees going north and south all day long. That was the most exciting thing.
That sounds like it's out of Pet Cemetery. So we can move on from there.
Final destination. Oh man.
So what is a genre that you haven't written in yet that you'd like to?
Children's books.
I was gonna mention that off podcast because I think your little 4-year-old detective book needs to be revived.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll be talking off podcast about that. See, I remember that with my lightning, Val.
I'm gonna have to try the lightning. I'm gonna have to try that with the lemonade.
I'm telling you, Skunk Brothers, if you type in coupon code DWA10, you get 10% off.
Sweet.
They're awesome.
Okay.
Sponsors of this show. What?
Is that the same lightning, or is it the apple one, the apple pie one that got you so good on that podcast that one time?
You know what? I would like less judgment from you because you have 2 ciders and you're like under the table and you don't remember your name.
And then I'm so nervous because we were going to talk to Jonathan Mayberry that I thought it was a grand idea to finish the bottle of wine before it started.
Oh my goodness.
So what about I just had a thought. Are there any books that you reread regularly?
Yes, there are. let's see, I did what was the most recent series I just reread? Brad Taylor's Pike series, a Pike Logan series. I just reread that. I've read Harry Potter a couple of times. Who is it? What is her name? Sarah Booth Delaney by Carolyn Haynes. It's a bunch of books. Trying to think, what else have I reread? Yeah, I mean, it's just, and Mrs. Halifax.
Oh, wow. Is there a holiday movie? This came up on the other podcast, so it's now making me think of it. Is there any movie, like I rewatch movies all the time. I have seen so many movies, literally hundreds of times probably, because I love rewatching movies and some TV shows. But are there favorites that you have that you watch all the time? Like if it's on, you're watching it?
Yes.
So what are your top 5 favorite movies?
Okay. The Greatest Show on The Greatest Show on Earth, but that's with it's an old movie. Charlton Heston and what's his name? Charlton Heston stars in it. Let me see. What else? Top 5s. It's a Wonderful Life, The Wizard of Oz, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and there's one more, Mary Poppins.
I love Mary Poppins. You know what one that I think is really underrated is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, I love that one too. Yes, that's a great one. I watched
that with my kids. They loved it.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes.
And what was the one I rewatched recently? Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? I watched it because it's just such a great American Gothic Southern translation of the Odyssey kind of vibe. And every time I watch it, I notice something new that they've really thought heavily visual on a visual background level of pulling in the Odyssey a little bit. So,
what about TV shows? Are there any TV series that you rewatch?
Leverage is one of them, and the original Charmed.
Oh yeah. Yes. I just got done I'm almost done rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Season 6 did not hold up well. Season 6 is terrible, but no, it's so funny because I told my boyfriend, who's watched a few of them with me, but he can't stand it. I said, this entire show, if they had a cell phone, would have been moot. And then I realized, which I had forgotten, that in season 7, they have cell phones. And I'm like, no wonder the damn thing went off the air. They're not spending their entire time looking for people,
Right.
Craziness. Okay, so let's pick, Val, think of another good question, but I'm going to have 2, and then you have to think of a good question, giving you lots of warning.
Oh, giving me lots of warnings.
Who would you cast? Let's take Chef's Taste, because that's the newest one coming out. Okay. Who are you casting as your lead character?
See, I don't know who the young hot things are nowadays.
They don't. You can say another person in a certain time frame, like.
Who would I pick for those? Okay, Gabrielle Union. Oh, yeah, Gabrielle Union and LL Cool J.
Ooh. Now that would be a combination right there. I would enjoy that. Oh, wow. Very cool. Okay. And what is your favorite outfit to wear while writing?
Ooh.
Pajamas.
I love pajamas. If I could exist solely in pajamas in life, I probably would.
I'm opposite. I have to put pants on. I have to have jeans and a t-shirt at the very least to be productive, I've found myself sitting here staring at the screen for an hour and be like, I've fucking done nothing. I'm gonna go get pants, real clothes on, and then I'm productive. I don't know what it is.
Val is one of those people that has to put on pants if she's going to continue to fight crime today. There you go. Mystery Men reference. You're welcome. Work that in. Okay, Val, what is your final epic question for Lynn?
What piece of advice have you received as a writer that you feel was a game changer for you?
Get it on the page. Don't spend all your time editing before you're even finished with the book. Just get it on the page.
I repeat that. I preach this one often, Lynn. Thank you. Thank you for backing and supporting this cause.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be my political campaign. Vote for Valerie Willis. Get it on the page.
Yes,
I think if she knew she was supporting your campaign, it might have changed her answer. Okay. Lynn, shameless self-promotion time. Where do people find you in your books?
You can find me at thehouseoflynn.com. My books are available at your favorite retailer, whether it's Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, or Apple. I am there. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and pretty much any other social media that's out there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being on this podcast with us and having your amazing Seagram's pina colada.
It was delicious. Thank you. I've had a blast with you guys.
Oh, we've had a blast with you. This has been so much fun. Guys, this has been Drinking with Authors, your literary briefs edition. I have been your host, Erica Lance. My amazing co-host, who hopefully will not completely screw this up this time, has been Valerie Willis.
Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and tell us how you I'm not even drunk. This is not fair. At least when I've had alcohol, I can blame it on that. You can like to subscribe, comment, share. Tell us who you like to see, who you love, and what you feel about us. We are
okay. Stop talking. You're just making stuff up now. Our amazing guest has been Lynn Chantale. We've survived another podcast with Valerie Willis, and we will see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.